You know what priests talk about when we get together? You. When it's just us clergy, we talk about you. And I'm sorry to say that there are priests who complain about their people. Not me. I brag about my congregation. I talk about the kids in my church. I talk about our service work through the child feeding program and the canteen food pantry and the wheelchair ramps that we build. I talk about Sundays, and I talk about how much fun we have in my church. I talk about the kids. I talk about how we have made this building more attractive by the work we have done on it. I talk about the laughs we have together. And I talk about the kids. I remember talking to a priest one time, a friend of mine, at a clergy conference, and I told her how much I love to give out the bread of communion, especially to the little kids. I love it when they put their little hands up and want to get their piece of bread. And she laughed and said she's always noticed how those hands often have sparkles and crayon marks and ink and stickers on them, especially if they've been to Sunday school. And then we both agreed, it's all about the hands. It's all about the hands. Being a priest starts with the hands. A bishop lays hands on your head when you get ordained. And it is a privilege to be a priest. And I think about this especially when I think about your hands. I love your hands at the altar rail when you hold them out to receive the bread of Christ. I love the handshakes and the hugs I get after church. I find it so meaningful to lay hands on people when I'm praying for healing. I love to hold a baby in my hands at a baptism. And when I officiate at a wedding, I get to see the heart of it close up. Now, the heart of a wedding is not what the minister says or does. The heart of a wedding is when the couple speaks these vows to one another while joining their hands. It's all about the hands. So then I come to this story about Jesus and Peter walking on the water. This is an impressive miracle. But that's not the part that grabs me. I don't know what to do with the walking on the water. This is not something that has a big impact in my day-to-day living. I mean, I'm a serious walker, yes, and I love to walk, and I do it for exercise. But I really like what a Buddhist teacher said. The miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on the green earth in the present moment. So it's not the walking on the water that gets me in this story. Instead, it's all about the hands. Peter, my favorite, good old impulsive, messed up, screwed up Peter, jumps out of the boat and starts walking on the water toward Jesus. And then he panics, as I sometimes do. He gets in over his head, as I sometimes do. He starts to sink, as I sometimes do. And he calls out for help. And then it's all about the hands. The text says, Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. It's all about the hands. We all get in over our heads sometimes. We all need a helping hand. We all need a friend. What a friend we have in Jesus, we sing, and it's true. The image of Jesus taking us by the hand is powerful in the Bible, in our hymns, in our songs, and in our prayers. It's all about the hands. Psychologists have done lots of weird experiments to figure out what makes us human beings tick. And a whole lot of experiments have proven conclusively that companionship makes a huge difference for the better. People under pressure are much less stressed if they have someone to share with. For example, people who are given electric shocks in a laboratory have a much smaller reaction if they are holding a friend's hands during the ordeal, which tells me to steer clear of psychologists who want to do experiments. But it also confirms what I'm saying. It's all about the hands. It's all about helping hands. The wonderful Jewish writer Isaac Bashevis Singer once wrote this: I only pray when I'm in trouble. But I'm in trouble all the time. So I pray all the time. Maybe the most basic prayer of all is just one word. And Peter kind of said it when he started sinking, when he was in over his head. The word is help. That might be the most basic prayer of all. Read through the Psalms, which is the prayer book of the Bible, and you will lose count of how many of those prayers can be summed up with that one simple word, help. Sometimes you just need a hand. And in my experience, God's helping hand is usually the hand of a human being right nearby. Sometimes we just need a hand. And sometimes we can give a helping hand. You can be God's helping hand anytime. It is a real privilege, and it is not just for priests. It is all about the hands.